They are going to be so comfortable. They are going to feel luxurious and lightweight. And then whenever I do pull it back like that, this is obviously not a great job. Wigs take work sometimes, you guys. Sometimes right out of the box, they're not going to look amazing. All of that being said, I believe that Sarah has a lot of potential in terms of the style. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to give you a review on this piece by Jon Renau called Sarah. So before I jump into it, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. Now, would you believe me if I told you I'm just going to hop right to it today? I'm just going to go ahead and get started by showing you the inside of Sarah's cap. And you guys, this is a beautiful cap. It is comfortable and cozy and it is natural. And that's because it is 100% hand tied everywhere. So we have a monofilament top up here where all the fibers have been hand sewn onto this monofilament. That gives you the ability to change the part anywhere you want, and it just allows the hair to move in a more natural way. We also have a lace front that extends a little bit into your ear tabs on both sides, of course. And again, the lace front means that all the fibers have been hand sewn onto this portion right here. All right, the rest of our cap is completely hand tied. These are really comfortable and luxurious, you guys. This one I find is nice and stretchy, especially this band in the middle. That's where you're gonna get some stretch. Up here, not so much, and same with down here. But this middle band of fabric here is where you will get a little bit of stretch, allowing it to form nicely to your head. And then we of course have some velvet ear tabs, which are really cozy, and a velvet extended nape with these Velcro adjusters here. Now, the great thing about hand-tied caps, you know, like I said, they are going to be so comfortable. They are going to feel luxurious and lightweight, and they're also going to give the hair overall just a more natural movement. Another thing that a lot of people love about hand-tied caps is that you're not going to find any permatease on them. So a lot of people, especially if you are someone who has experienced hair loss and you know you're dealing with thinning hair, putting on a wig that has a lot of permatease in it is going to be overwhelming for you. So when you get these hand-tied caps, they're not going to have permatease, which is that short-haired crimping effect right at the root of a synthetic wig that gives it volume. If you want to learn more about permatease, I've done a couple videos that explains what it is, that explains the pros and cons of permatease. Make sure you go check that out if you need some help just figuring out what the heck permatease is. I will link that below for you. But like I mentioned, anyone who is experiencing thinning or hair loss doesn't always love the permatease because it just gives you a look of too much hair. So that's the great thing about these hand-tied caps is they're always going to be pretty low profile on your head and they're not going to be too poofy, which is nice. I'm going to go ahead and put Sarah on. Now Sarah is basically brand new out of the box. The only thing I have done is I have changed the part on her. So she doesn't have that zigzag part anymore. She does have just a nice sort of left part, but you will find that out of the box, Sarah doesn't look fantastic. Now, although Sarah has these adorable ringlety curls, I feel like when you get her out of the box, all of these curls are very separated. And when they are separated like this, it doesn't look great. It looks like you just got your hair curled at the salon, but then the stylist didn't comb through it and just kind of left you looking like Shirley Temple with no combing through. So Sarah definitely needs a little bit of a comb through in order to separate the curls and make her look a lot better. All of that being said, I believe that Sarah has a lot of potential in terms of the style. So if you're looking at me right now and going like, oh, I don't know about that, just know that wigs take work sometimes, you guys. Sometimes right out of the box, they're not gonna look amazing, but as you play with it, as you comb through, if you add some heat to it sometimes, it's going to change the way the wig looks, and you just have to work with it a little bit to make it suit you some more. Now, unfortunately, I'm not going to comb through these curls right now because I'm not gonna keep this piece myself. However, I'm gonna hopefully get my hands on one where I can actually take you through the process of getting it out of the box, putting it on my head, and showing you what exactly I would do to it to help it look much better. But today, I just wanna show you what you're getting right out of the box. So let me go ahead and show you this lace front here. So like I said, it does extend into your ear tabs, which is a really nice feature to have. It just gives you more ability to bring it off of your face and do some styling. However, I have this problem with a lot of lace fronts where they are just so darn perfect. You know what I mean? Like, I always mention this, but it just looks like I have a rainbow across my head. I love how they are bringing these light pieces forward to help disguise the knotting so you don't see the knots. However, whenever they bring these pieces forward, I don't even have to explain myself, I feel. It just makes it look so perfect. Like you have this line of light hair, and then beyond that, you see the dark, you know? And I don't know if there's a way to even remedy that and fix that. I mean, I suppose you could pluck some fibers away, but overall, I don't think that would change it too much. Anyways, I always have like this love-hate relationship with these lace fronts, especially by Raquel Welch. They do it more frequently than Jon Renau does in terms of bringing those light pieces forward, because I don't know. Like I said, I love that it gives you the light knots when you have these darker roots, but I don't love that it just looks so perfect. So whenever it looks so perfect like this, I never pull it off of my face because I just feel like that screams that I'm wearing a wig. If I ever pull these off of my face, it tends to be more back like this as opposed to back and up like that. And then whenever I do pull it back like that, this is obviously not a great job, I always leave pieces in the front just to mess it up a little bit, give it a little bit of a dainty look, and just to help disguise any of that lace there. Okay, moving along. So Sarah also has that full monofilament top. So that gives you the ability to change the part wherever you want. So this is what your monofilament top is going to look like. And I always mention whenever there is these darker knots, you are going to see them. So if you don't like those darker knots, then maybe opt for an unrooted color or a lighter color where it's going to be a little bit less visible. All right, Sarah is made with synthetic fibers. These are not heat friendly, these are just synthetic. And I do find that Jon Renau's synthetic fibers, especially the blonde ones, they tend to be a little bit shiny. As you wear these synthetic pieces, as you wash it, and just as you have it over time, the shine on it is going to tone down a little bit. It's not gonna go away completely, but it's going to tone down a little bit. But if it is ever really bothering you, you can spray it with dry shampoo. I find that doesn't help like a ton. It helps a little bit, not a ton. You could also take this outside or in your bathroom and dust some baby powder all over it, work your fingers through it, and that helps to dull it also as well. That's like saying the same thing twice. That helps to dull it also as well. All right, let's take a look at the lengths here. So in the front, we have about 15 inches. From the sides, we've got about 15.5 inches. At the crown, we are going to have 17 inches. And at the nape, we have 12.5 inches here. Now, I've said this before, but I don't always trust lengths for some reason, and I feel like it doesn't give you sort of that overall idea of how long it actually is. So I've got my measuring tape here, and I personally enjoy knowing the length from like the center of my head down to the bottom here. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna put my measuring tape right where that sort of part line is, bring it all the way down here, and going to the bottom curl, we have about just over 16 inches long from there. So I don't know if that helps you, but for me, it helps me. Now I'm just having a really hard time looking at myself right now because without brushing this out, I just look like I have noodles coming out of my head. Anyways, let me give you a spin so we can take a look at this whole thing here. So as I was telling you guys earlier when I was showing you the cap, there is no permatease on this, so you're not gonna get the poofiness back here. It's low profile. And overall, the density of this, I would say, is about a light to medium density. I don't find it overbearing at all. And it is actually pretty lightweight feeling. And the cap itself, in terms of fit, I find it's fitting a little bit smaller than average. I haven't adjusted the Velcro on it at all, but it's already fitting my head pretty securely. I could bring in the adjusters just a little bit, but I wouldn't bring them in all the way. So I am a petite size. I'm 20.5 circumference, 11.5 inches front to nape, and 11.5 inches ear to ear. So this is where it sits on my head in terms of the ears. So it sits in pretty much a perfect spot where you don't want it right in your ear crease, because that will bother you. You want it sitting just above your ear crease and just a little bit ahead of your ear, kind of where like sideburns would be. But it's fitting me very well in terms of ear to ear. And like I said, I'm 11.5 inches ear to ear. Circumference is fitting pretty good. I would just bring it in just a little bit. And I don't even have a ton of bulk within the rest of the cap. So if you are an average or a petite average, this would work well for you, I think. All right, so I know that this review here wasn't necessarily giving like rave reviews of Sarah. I'm not over here being like, I love it so much. But that being said, I actually do really like Sarah. I know it might be hard to believe. I do really like her. What I would do though, of course, is comb her through, make sure these aren't so, you know, noodly. And that's gonna help give her a little bit more fullness so that they're not so separated looking. Also, I think I would get Sarah in a darker color. You know, since I mentioned earlier that I find Jon Renau blondes can tend to be a little bit more shiny than their brunettes are. But overall, I love the density on Sarah. I love the curl pattern on Sarah. I love the way this cap feels. It's extremely comfortable and just like forms to my head really nicely. I love the fact that it is a hand-tied cap, so it just allows the hair to move more naturally. I love having the full monofilament top so I can part it wherever I want. And I love having the lace front, despite what I said about this, you know, rainbow effect. If I were to get a bit of a darker color, that rainbow wouldn't necessarily bother me as much. But then when you do get a darker color, you trade that rainbow in for darker knots. So sometimes it's just like, which one is worse? Which one is better? I don't know. Would I rather have darker knots or would I rather have a rainbow? I don't know. Anyways, as always, let me know what you think of Sarah below, or if you personally have Sarah yourself and you've tried it out and you want to let us know your experience with her too. And as I mentioned, I'm going to try and get my hands on another Sarah so I can actually show you how I can bring her from noodles and, you know, a little bit awkward looking to looking a lot more natural. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. I always appreciate you being here, and I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.